She's second. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there battling. The players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. Falling up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
Yep, had to bust him out today. Not since the ring ceremony, but a big division game. Yeah, had to bust out. You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs. Beating the Chargers 31-17. Mitch Holthus with you, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. I'm fired up about this win.
Huge win. I know it's only late October, but we talked about this on Field Pass. To be 6-1 at this point in this season, to have 2 consecutive AFC West victories, and to beat this team, which is always the thorn in our side, right? They're 2-4 now. We're 6-1. A 3.5 game lead on these guys at this point in the year. That's huge.
When I wrapped up the game on radio, I gave the analogy, a shout out to all of the swimmers in the Chiefs Kingdom and swimmers' parents, because a relay, think of a relay race. That's what this was. The offense was incredible in the first half, but then the defense goes, we'll take it from here. And then McCole Hardman, he's back home where he belongs, said, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, it's true complementary football, right? In the first half, Travis Kelce has 143 receiving yards. Patrick Mahomes has 321 passing yards. The Chargers are scoring as well, though. That was the issue. Well, in the second half, the Chiefs defense doesn't allow the Chargers to score a single point. They have 5 possessions in the second half, 3 punts, all 3 and outs, and 2 interceptions. Incredible performance by the Chiefs defense after a rough start to help win this game for the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs still the only team in the NFL not to allow under 21 offensive points a game. They hold them to 17. In fact, 37 shutout minutes, Matt, for the Chiefs defense. The last 7 Charger possessions, 0 points. What about the pressure from this defense? And a big turnover with a deflection by Charles Omenihu and the interception by L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, Charles Omenihu can stay, can he? Pretty good player. What a Chiefs debut for him. He also had a sack in this game. 4 other players had sacks as well. Mike Dana, Willie Gay, George Karlaftis. And how about Drew Tranquil? An exclamation point on this game. Of course, a former Charger got a sack on his former team.
Oh, you know he loved that one. But let's go to the podium.
All right. As far as the injuries go, Nick Bolton has a dislocated wrist, so they're working on that now, and we'll see how he does. He really had a heck of a game up to that point, though. The fans were incredible. What a day in Arrowhead. Beautiful day, first of all, and then you had the noise there with the Chargers having to use a couple timeouts and illegal procedures and so on that they had going against them. Congratulations to Dante Hall, too, for going into the Hall of Fame, and all the alums that were back here. We love having you all back and supporting the Chiefs. Listen, the second half from our defensive standpoint was a shutout. Spags is doing a great job with design, and the players are playing their hearts out. I give credit to all the coaches there on the defensive side, but when you have a shutout going against that crew, that's quite a deal. Batted balls all over the place. Charles Omenihu, it was great to get him back in the mix here, or back just in the mix. He never was in it, so it was a good deal there. He had a sack and again a blocked throw. 4 sacks by our defense was tremendous, and the list keeps going on, right? So responded after the turnovers. Beautiful job there. Offensively, a good day. I mean, a real good day. Again, Matt Nagy puts together the game plan. It was a beautiful game plan. That defense is special with some of the players that they have there, and their head coach is calling the plays, and he's a heck of a coordinator and head coach, but he also knows exactly what he's doing with the defense. So with that, Pat had obviously a big day with over 400 yards. Kelsey keeps getting better with time. Taylor can stay around all she wants. Rashee Rice. I mean, we've witnessed this now. I mean, you're watching him grow right in front of us here, and then Quez, the old man of the group, he had a big day today, and the third down percentage. Anytime you can be 6 for 11 on third downs with the pass rushers that they have is something, and that tells you that your offensive line did a pretty good job. So Andy Heck and his crew really did well. But I thought all the offensive coaches likewise had a nice day. Dave Tobe had a plan for McCole, and the guys blocked their hearts out for him, and he busted that punt out. That was a huge play, and then he came back and had a big catch. So welcome back, McCole. And we only got him here on Thursday, so we'll keep adding stuff to his menu there. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, you always talk about knocking the rust, players need to knock the rust off. Charles Omenihu hadn't played forever. What allowed him to be as effective as he was?
Yeah, well, when I say he wasn't in the mix, I mean, he hasn't played in a game for us other than preseason. But what he did was on the 6 weeks off, he kept himself in shape, and he had a chance to see that today. Now, is he going to be sore? Yeah, he'll be in the cold tub for a while tomorrow. But he's a nice addition to the mix there.
Andy, you kind of joking, I think, about Kelsey a minute ago, but is he getting better with age?
I think both he and Pat they're on the same page. That's a challenge. That's a challenge for defenses, and I know they work on. This isn't like a secret, so they're working on those things now. That's when I say, Matt and Joe, all the guys that are involved with that pass game, putting together things. It's quite a tribute to the coaches, and then for those two going out there and executing like they do. And he might be getting better with age. You and I can't say that, Adam, but we can. No.
And the defense got caught with tempo. The Chargers run a lot of tempo in that first half.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know the difference in numbers between the first and second half, but what did you just think of the response to things not going well?
Yeah, so nobody hung, they weren't hanging their heads. They kind of figured it out. We had a plan for it, and then they got us on a few. When I tell you, that's a good offense now. So, but the guys figured it out, and you look at the stops in that second half, and the pressure on the quarterback. That was an unsettled position for him today. The guys got after him a little bit. So whether they were sacking him or hitting him, he had people around him all the time. So
it's probably hard to quantify this, but I wonder with Travis and Patrick, how much would you say you feel like it's schemed up that does that, and how much is their ability to be off script? I know we talked about it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's probably both. It's a combination. They kind of know where the green lights are and where the red lights are with the flexibility of the play, and they utilize it. Long yellow light, right? So, go ahead, in the back. Yep, Neil.
Coach, what does it do for your offense? You got some guys, the ball in wide receivers' hands when they had a chance to make plays. What's that going to do for that group as a whole?
Listen, I think it's great. We just got to keep growing here. We've got another AFC West team coming up this next week here. So. With Denver, and they'll have another plan for us, and but the guys they're working through all of that, and this is a new road that you have a chance to play a team twice. All right, well, that's a different thing. They know you, and you have an idea about them. Now, what do you do? So, I'm saying for the young guys, but they're getting better, Neil. They're getting better.
Last three.
Coach Reed, you scored 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. Do you feel like your team found the best rhythm they've had offensively this season, and what was the spark of it?
Yeah, I would probably say, yeah. It was a productive day. We still got to get rid of some of these penalties. We get rid of a couple of those things, and we'll really have something going. But I thought it was productive. It was a great plan, and you take away some of the little mishaps there with the penalties, and you've had a pretty good day.
Last two, Pete. How difficult is it for McCole to come back and just have the impact he had both in the punt return and that 3rd and 6?
Yeah, Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, he's been away for 6 months or so, and going through all of learning that offense, and then coming back to this, and not easy to do. But McCullen is real smart. So he's a smart kid, innately smart kid, and so it wasn't hard for him to jump back in and pick up a few things that we had in the game plan and roll with those.
And just the importance of answering the giveaway with a takeaway. I guess how the second half worked.
Yeah, a nice drive. I was telling Ted that those are plays. When you have those are. It's hard to come back and use those plays. You've already used them to get there, and you kind of throw them out the window with turnovers and penalties and that. So, but for us to come back and do what we did after that was a good thing, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Some guys only have like one name and you know who they are. Then you can just give the initials, MVS, and the Chiefs Kingdom knows I'm talking about Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Congratulations on this victory over division opponent. Overall, your thoughts on it?
It was great, man. Obviously, they're a division opponent, like you said, and being able to come out and get, 2-0 in the division and get one up in the league of, trying to hold that first place spot, for down the stretch, every game's important, so especially the division ones.
Let's talk about the 46-yard touchdown. Electric. Walk us through that play and what you had to do to get there.
Yeah, so actually I had a completely different route on the other side of the field that was near the numbers. And I saw Pat running to the right, so I'm like, oh, well, let me go over here and see if I can get the ball. And, we made eye contact, and I saw him up the ball, and, I just kind of did the rest.
Let's talk about that some more, though, of playing with Pat. Now, you've done it now, a year and a half, but understanding how to play with him. And we talk about the play that's not even the called play.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, of extending plays and making things happen with his feet. And obviously, he can make any throw from any position. So having a guy like that who can kind of run around and, he's not really a runner. He's a sneaky runner, but he doesn't want to run. He wants to throw the ball. And so being able to get, him to find guys open and make some plays for him, that's kind of, how we live.
We're seeing a bunch of different coverages in 7 weeks from these guys on the back end. What were you seeing today from these guys, and how much did they change it up on you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're a good defense. No matter what the stats say, they got really good players, especially, up front and on that back end. Watching those guys, go after, tackles week in and week out. I think Khalil Mack had like 6 sacks in one game. So I think our tackles did a really good job of, keeping Pat clean. And I think we threw for almost, 400-something yards. So that's a testament to, what we do as an offense. If they stop the run game, well, we can pass the ball. If they stop the pass game, we can run the ball. So being able to switch guys in and out and get everybody involved, I think that's, also key to this whole thing.
But what about your room? Because every one of those situations you just gave, you've got responsibilities, including the run game. What about everything you're asked to do it and do it at high level?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the game. And we got a super talented room, and everybody does something different, but we all have the same standard of how we want to operate. And so having guys like that, even bringing McCullen back in, you see he came in and made a couple big plays. And so having a versatile room, but all holding the same standard for ourselves, it makes it really tough on defenses to know who they have to guard and who they have to key in on. And, each guy can run a different route and each guy can run the same route. So I think that's, the versatility and, Coach Reed just dialing it up for us.
You've been around this league a long time. How much are these young guys coming on?
Man, they're doing great, man. Every year they're trying to bring young guys in, get the old guys out, and I'm one of those old guys. So it keeps me on my toes, keep me, competitive, but also I love that I can just teach these young guys, and they look at me as a leader and as a mentor, and being able to go in and just talk to these guys and explain what I see. And obviously I've been in this league a long time, so being able to explain to them different things and what to look for and how to run certain routes. I just love that I can be that guy for those guys, because I had a great veteran like Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb when I was a young guy.
One of the most famous 3 initials in the Chiefs Kingdom, MVS, big day, Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Patrick, obviously the Chargers are pretty conscious of Travis, and yet, I mean, can you just try to explain how that can happen? You can get him that way, that open.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things, I think the main thing is the way he's able to recognize coverage and adjust on the fly. We always talk about it, but it's something that you can't take for granted. I mean, it's like almost like he's playing Madden, like he can read the coverage and stop in the windows and be open and be on the same page as me at all times. And so he did a great job, man. It seems like he does it week in and week out, and that's why he's the player that he is, and he'll be a Hall of Famer one day.
I know we've talked about this a few times, but how much would you say is, scripted and not scripted?
It's hard to say because even though it's not technically scripted the way, we talk about it throughout the week. And so if you look at the one where I kind of throw in the middle of the field right between people, we kind of discussed, like, if that guy flies out, just be in that window and I'm going to throw it. And so I think by practicing it and doing it in practice, I have confidence he's going to do it in the game. And I always joke around with him. I'm like, man, just take a rep off in practice, but he doesn't want to. He wants to be out there all the time. And so I think he understands how important it is to build that chemistry, and that's what makes him so great.
Patrick, how impressive is it that McMullen was just able to come back and just be reinserted, and then particularly in that third down?
Yeah, no, the first third down, I missed him. He actually read it well. He saw the linebacker pushing to him. I saw the corner outside, but Trav was going to take that guy out of the way. So he actually read it the right way, and I missed him. But then the last one was cover zero, using his speed, getting through traffic, and making a big catch to get that first down, man. I mean, it's impressive because, he didn't have the season that he wanted in New York, but to be able to come back, have confidence, not be down on himself, and know that whenever he gets his opportunity, he's going to do the most with it. And obviously the punt return really put the game away, and so it's another piece that we could add to the offense, and that speed's hard to replicate.
Is this an ideal sort of performance for the offense, the ability to spread the ball around, obviously scoring in the red zone? Is this maybe your proudest performance as an offense so far this season?
Yeah, I would say so far. There's still just little things here and there. The first drive, the penalty, it just hurts. We play big games like this; those could be really big. And then the second half, just here and there, just a little miscues here and there. If I can hit Rasheed on that one when they're triple teaming Travis, he's probably going to score. So just little things here and there that I have to continue to be better at. But we're definitely taking steps in the right direction. I'll just say with the interception, just no one look at Quez, because that's who I was supposed to throw to, and he was probably another touchdown. So just cut him out of the picture when y'all look at it.
Adam, go ahead, Adam. Yep, go ahead, Adam.
Patrick, Travis has had 3 big games since his birthday a few weeks ago. Is he getting better with age? I mean, is he a better player now than when you got here, maybe?
Yeah, I think the way he's able to recognize coverages is probably even better. He's played against every single team and every coverage and every way to try to take him away, and so he's able to recognize that and then dissect it on the fly. Younger Trav would have scored on that one touchdown, though, so I'll say that. So, but other than that, I think he's doing a great job of finding ways to get himself open and having these monster games.
Patrick, can you take us through the Marquez touchdown on the scramble drill there?
Yeah, so he actually was the first read. In all honesty, I called the running back was supposed to go out the other way, and I called it the wrong way, and so it ran underneath Marquez, but it actually opened up everything else to the right, and so I scrambled out to the right. He did a great job of working with me. And then I threw the ball. I think those runs have started to work, and now the defenses are coming up when I scramble. And so I was able to get the ball to Marquez, and then he got in the end zone. And he had a good game today, and I have to continue to find him because he's getting open, and I have to continue to find ways to get him the football.
And just how did they adjust with Travis got a lot of attention in the second half. I just wondering what you were seeing.
Yeah, third down, they did a good job, but they were going to double him at least. And if the running back stayed in, they were going to send a third guy there. And so they were very conscious of Travis. But it opens up other things. We just got to be able to hit and connect on those things. And we did in certain points. But if we can continue to get better in that, like I like the one to Rasheed, if I can hit him on that and then we get that big touchdown, it'll take defenses out of that. And so we got to continue to prove that. And that's stuff that we can get better at as the season goes on.
Patrick, O-lines often have trouble against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Talk about how yours was successful.
Yeah, they were great. They were great in pass protection. I've said it 7 times to them in the locker room. Other than the one sack on the third and super long, they kept me clean. And a lot of pockets whenever I was going 1, 2, 3 back to 1 type reads. And so they played their tail off. They battled. And then in the second half, they found a way to just grind out yards in the run game. And so, that's a great defensive front. And I thought the offensive line accepted the challenge and played a great game.
Patrick, did the one play with Travis, you started to run, or made it look like you were going to run. Can you just take us through that play? Because it looked like it little free even before you did that.
Yeah, no, we actually talked about it on the sideline after. I saw him, but I couldn't find the angle to make the throw to him. And so the offensive line did a good job, and I was able to step up in the pocket and just made it easier to float it to him. He was kind of like the second, third read on that play, and so I looked out to the first few. They recovered, and I saw Travis, and I just wanted to find a way to get him the football. And so he did a good job finding that open space, and I was able to get the football to him.
That's a good example of being, everybody, not just him, opening up other things too.
Yeah, no, he does a great job of whenever he's open, he doesn't get himself covered. I mean, I say that and it sounds funny, but a lot of times if you're supposed to run a route a certain way, they're going to keep running the route and they'll go through the window. And in this offense, Coach Reed gives them the freedom to, if you're open, stay there. Don't get yourself covered and run the route like we've ran it in practice 1,000 times. And so he does a great job of that. And it sounds simple, but it's something that he's really mastered.
Last two. Patrick, 10 different people caught a pass from you today. You mentioned that they were focusing on Travis. Is that the reason why you're able to distribute it so well, or what did you see in the ability to get it to so many different people today?
Yeah, I think guys just stepped up. If they're going to focus that much on Travis, obviously we're going to still try to throw him the football in certain areas, but we got other guys got to make plays. And guys stepped up, made a lot of big plays, big catches. And I think that's what our offense is going to continue to be. Obviously, there's going to be a big dose of Trav, the player that he is. But if we want to continue to get to that next step of an offense and a team, we're going to have to let other guys make plays when it counts. And I thought the guys did a good job of that today.
Last one, Nate. Patrick, when it comes to Rasheed, just what is he sort of that you've seen that it's translated from practice to these games where he's sort of been where you needed him to be in certain spots?
Yeah, he's just learning, not only from me, but from Travis, from Marquez. He takes in information well. He learns. And we continue to give him more, and he continues to get better and better. And so he's obviously a physical player. I think y'all can see that. But the way he's able to kind of start recognizing coverages and get himself open is starting to really translate. And then we'll continue to get better and better. And if I can hit him on that one route, it's even a bigger game. So I think he's done a great job, but he can't be satisfied. He's got to continue to get better if he wants to be the player I think he wants to become.
And I know you had those few passing sessions with him even before the draft, right? Obviously, it's not against the defense, but what could you tell even before the draft that led you to believe he could be maybe this good this early?
I think the biggest thing I could tell, I mean, obviously you see the physical stuff. I mean, everybody has the physical stuff, but when I have those passing sessions in the offseason, I think y'all know when I'm talking through stuff with the receivers, I'm talking about recognizing coverages and stuff like that. And I could tell, even though he didn't know because he hadn't played in the NFL, he had a good grasp of feel. Like he understood how to kind of settle in certain areas. And if he made a mistake, he would fix it the next time. And so I think that was the biggest thing that I saw with him. I mean, obviously the physical stuff is there, but the way he was able to comprehend and do stuff and adjust on the fly, I think that stuff is what is going to makes you great in this offense. I think he does a great job of it.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, we need to talk about McCole Hardman some more. Like, he's back, but the 50-yard punt return. This is 24-17. Chiefs have been pinned back, and then he gets that 50-yard punt return. It looked like he was back in 2019.
I gave McCole a big hug on Thursday when I saw him after his media session. I was so fired up that he was here, and I told him that because I really believed he could help this team both on offense and on special teams. He got here 4 days ago. It doesn't matter. He's back there fielding all the punts and all the kickoffs. What a big-time play by McCole Hardman. Just vintage McCole Hardman there. A 50-yard return sets up the Chiefs' final touchdown drive. And don't forget, he also had a 6-yard reception on third down that kept that drive alive. Would have ended in a field goal if it wasn't for McCole's efforts on that third down. Welcome back, McCole Hardman.
Love it. And Pop Pacheco gets a touchdown reception for the first time in his career. We know he's been in there on the ground, but in the regular season, a touchdown reception by Isaiah Pacheco. That was the backbreaker.
Yeah, huge play by the Chiefs there to finish off that drive with a touchdown. You just knew if the Chiefs could score a touchdown, the game was over, right? And a field goal would help. It would make it a 2-score advantage. But score a touchdown there. End it against a division rival. Isaiah Pacheco did it. And right after that McCole Hardman third down catch was when that happened. Huge play by Isaiah.
5 sacks in this game. Karlaftis had one. Willie Gay Jr. had one. Amenahu had one, plus the tip pass. Mike Dana had one. And Drew Tranquil had the one that you alluded to earlier, but it was also the pressures. Mike Dana was all over the place in this game. This front for the Chiefs, I think we're only seeing the beginning.
And Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We know that. He's incredibly talented, and he's the kind of player that he has players hanging on him. He'll still complete passes. The Chiefs defense accepted the challenge here of making sure they were altering his throwing angle time and time again. He never had a clean pocket, it seemed like, in this game, especially in the second half.
And the crowd was awesome. In fact, did you see Darius Davis take off like Canadian football? Because he can't hear the count. He just takes off like this isn't the Saskatchewan Roughriders, my friend. The crowd was awesome today. And in fact, there might have been a couple of other delay of games that weren't called.
We talk about true complementary football. It's offense, defense, special teams, and the crowd. The Chargers did not have a lot of fun today playing on this field. That's what you want if you're Kansas City.
Chiefs win 16 out of 19 over the Chargers. And again, you look at it in 37, 38, 39, and 5 in the last 44 games against the division. Let's go back to the podium and get reaction.
Hi, friends.
Can you take us through your touchdown? Patrick described
it. We had a play called. I was on the other side of the field. He got some pressure, and I kind of just worked with him and ran to the other side of the field, and he saw me. We made eye contact, and I said, hey, throw me the ball, and he threw it to me.
He said he called the play a little bit wrong. I just wondered if you were aware of that in the huddle.
Nah, I mean, it sounded right to me. I think he might have called the protection wrong for the running back or the chip or whatever it was, so the back might have went to the wrong side. So I think one of the defenders got underneath the initial throw. So I think the initial throw was there, but with the pressure, he kind of just got off of it, and I just kept working with him.
What does it mean to see McCullen contribute?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, we traded for him for a reason. He's a hell of a player. You know, me and McCullen have a great, friendship that stayed true, even when he left. He was one of the first guys that I talked to when I got here. And so being able to, bring him back and, just enjoy his energy. He's a loud one. But, he's energetic and, his play shows, and he's electric, and you saw that today.
Similar question about Rashid. Seems like he's progressing every week. What have you seen since week one regarding his growth?
Just growth, man. I think Ford's doing a really good job of just doing what he's supposed to do and making the plays that he's supposed to make. Not trying to be anything that he's not. You see a lot of rookies come in and try to do too much and can't figure out, what the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. He's just been doing his job, and it's been paying off for him. He's a quiet kid that, listens to what he's told to do and always wants to learn, always taking notes, and it shows, week in and week out of just him making the plays. And obviously, Pat trusts him to keep giving him the ball.
What's the biggest indicator to you that the offense is showing progress?
We scored 31 points, so I guess that's the biggest indicator. And obviously, that's our standard, from, what they've done in the past and what we did last year. And what our standard is as an offense. We just have so many talented players, from top to bottom, in every position room that you think that we should be able to score 30 points every week. And so, that's always our goal to, be the number one offense and win games.
What do you think enables? I know you've been kind of frustrated this season. Finally got into the year. How are you feeling?
There's no frustration, man. We're winning games. Obviously as a receiver, you want the ball every play. So if you want to say I'm frustrated, then I can say I'm frustrated every single play I don't get the ball. But we're winning games, and I don't take it too far. But, you're never going to see me throwing tablets on the sideline. I didn't get the football thrown to me. Obviously there's plays where you like, hey man, I could have got this one or whatever it is, but there won't ever be any visible frustration. And anything that is like that gets handled inside the building. You won't ever see me frustrated outside of it. So
to bounce off that, it kind of feels like when some guys say that I'm just working until my numbers called. It seems like that's kind of been your career. Like not every game you make an impact, but you make a big impact.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Obviously I've had a pretty long career, and I've averaged like 20 yards a catch my whole career. So there's going to be games where guys don't want me to get big plays, and that's just the reality of it. They're going to do anything they can to stop me from going 1 for 80. They'll let Travis or whoever catch 10 balls before they let me catch 1. And that's just been the name of the game. I've been one of the better deep threats in the league my whole career. So, I take it with pride, and I see the respect that I get from defenses across the league.
Couple more. Along those lines, what do you think enables Travis to do what he does in a game where the Chargers obviously are focused on him?
He's the best tight end in the NFL in the history of football. So there's not really much to say past that. He's the best to ever do it. So you can know what he's going to run, and he'll still get open.
MBS, a game like this, can that create a domino effect for you?
I don't know, man. You know, obviously, like I said, I want the ball every play. So if I can get all 60 passes thrown to me, I would. So, you know, I don't know. But, you know, we'll see what happens next week. We're going against a good defense that, you know, held me to no catches. So.
As one of the veterans in that room, when Justin goes down, is there a message you have to kind of galvanize the rest of the team?
Nah, man. I think that as a room, you know, we've all been in that position to, you know, rally around guys. But at the end of the day, we're so unique with how we operate as a receiver room. I don't think really a lot of teams do it how we do it, with the versatility and having, you know, 7 guys that can go in and play at any time. You know, you usually see 3 or 4 guys, you know, active on a roster, maybe 5. So we got, you know, 7, 8 guys up every week. You know, it's just kind of the next man up and go when your opportunity's in front of you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Full disclosure, I saw him in the hallway this week, and he just kind of stared at me like, I'm back, I'm here. Charles Omenihu, what a game. You were back with a force. Walk us through this and your thoughts on getting the pressure on Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we had to do this game. Herbert's a top 10 quarterback for sure, so you don't want to let him get too comfortable out there. So the biggest thing to make a good quarterback uncomfortable is get to him. And we were doing it often, early, and it helped us spring us to a victory.
So the second quarter got a little crazy, like 35 total points. What happened in the second half? You shut them down. They did not score.
Yeah, I mean, we just tightened up the screws. The guys understood the task at hand, the challenge at hand, and we just had to tighten it up a little bit.
One of the things I talk about all the time, the most underrated play in defensive football is the tip pass. And you got it led to the interception in the red zone. What about that play?
Yeah, so we had a 4-man rush, and the slide came to me. And I knew I had to balance up the rush. I couldn't let him get out the pocket. He's been doing really well getting out the pocket and making throws. So push the pocket, was pushing the center, saw him take his hand off the ball. I just put my hand up and luckily tip long enough for my boy Sneeze to go get it.
So exciting. I saw it this spring. You guys were playing outside, inside. What about the ability of almost everybody in your room to play either inside or outside and what that means?
Yeah, that's what, I mean, defensive linemen nowadays are versatile. So you can't just be pigeonholed in one spot. You got to be able to rush, play the run sometimes as a defensive end playing inside, and that's what all 4 of us, and, you know, Turk can even do it, and Felix, so that's what we just do, you know, so it's just how it is.
And this defense overall, if you're an opposing quarterback, how challenging is it? They got to look at personnel plus the scheme. What about all of the stuff you throw at an opposing quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, you never know when the blitz is coming. You never know who's going to be a hot hand as a rusher. You don't know where I'm going to line up, Chris going to line up, Mike, George, whoever. You just never know. So it just gives us an advantage and gives Coach Spags so many different ways to piece everything together.
When you were watching this go for 6 weeks, how much were you chomping at the bit to go, turn me loose?
Yeah, I mean, on that, I truly want to give the Chiefs the hugest thank you. Beach, Coach Reed, Bino, Ted, Joe, my D-line coach, and the whole D-line, just the whole defense, even the offensive guys, just checking on me. And I want to give them the biggest thanks because those guys made it a lot easier. And when I came back after them, with them 3 weeks left, I felt like I didn't miss a beat. So I just appreciate that. I'm glad I'm back. I got to make up for some time, so I got to do what I got to do, but to help the team win.
You did it today. Final question. How much is this defense, how much is there even room to grow? It feels like we haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, I mean, we can, like I said, we can tighten up the screws a little bit more. We can, not that they had a big run. They had, you know what I'm saying, a couple big passes. So it's not perfect, and we can still keep going and keep grinding it out to be a dominant defense. We want to be number 1.
He is loose and getting after it. Number 90, Charles Omenihu.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Chiefs win at 31-17. Travis Kelce, I thought he was going to have 250 yards receiving at halftime.
What a game for number 87. He finishes this game with 12 catches for 179 yards and a touchdown. It's the second most receiving yards of his career since he played the LA Chargers in 2021. Heck of a game by 87.
They throw everything at him, man. Man-to-man, Derwin James, zone. He just finds it, man. He finds it. And him and Patrick, they team up for the 50th time. So 50 touchdowns between Mahomes and Kelce. They're climbing up. The next one will really climb them up the board.
And how about the strength by Kelce on that touchdown? Everyone's trying to hit the ball out. He's reaching it across. No one's going to knock that ball out from Travis Kelce. He got the touchdown here today.
Yeah, it's like, tuck it, Kels, tuck it. But actually helped them because they're all trying to get to the ball.
Yep.
But anyway, let's close it out here because the Chiefs now play the Denver Broncos for the second time in a span of basically 3 weeks. Really odd scheduling. But the Chiefs already with a 3-game lead in this division.
There he is.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's
Greek
the man
freak.
who said the Greek freak. But you can just continue to put the foot on the pedal this week against the Broncos.
That's the key. Keep our foot on the gas. This is a huge victory for Kansas City. Let's enjoy it tonight. But another big game against the Broncos next week. We talked a few weeks ago about how we could really set the tone in the division with this 3-game stretch against AFC West opponents. We're 2-0 so far. Let's make it 3-0 next week.
And people think, can you really look different in 2 weeks? Yeah, you can, because now McCole Hardman and Charles Omenihu are going to Denver for this game. He's Matt McMullen, senior team reporter. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. The Chiefs take 2 giant steps forward to try to win an 8th consecutive AFC West championship.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.